In today's tutorial, hey, hope you're doing well today and welcome to my art channel. But before we start, if you like this video or you learned something new, please like, and for more videos, subscribe with notifications. In this episode, I'm going to be focusing on the sclera. The sclera is the white part of the eye that forms more than 80% of the surface area of the eyeball. So the first color that I'm using for the base layer is the cold gray 2, which I use very lightly. Next, I start from the shadowed areas and use more layers and slightly more pressure only on the shadowed areas which are at the top and the bottom of the sclera. And because towards the middle is quite light, I gently apply less pressure as I come to the middle of the sclera. In order to have more control over the amount of pressure I'm using, I hold my pencil further back. Since the sclera is a sphere, it should be shaded like one. Even though many people know it as the white part of the eye, a common mistake is to actually make it white when drawing this part of the eye. There are many different tones in there, and it could be warmer grays or some cooler grays, many different tones on the spectrum. This will all depend on the reference photo you're working from. One of the advantages of using light layers is that I can correct the mistakes much easier at the earliest stages. It's important to remember you can always add more, but it's harder to take away. Then I go in with cold gray 4 on the darker shadow areas, which are closer towards the upper eyelid. Since the upper eyelid blocks the light, the top of the sclera is often darker because of the upper eyelid's cast shadow, but again, this also depends on the reference photo you're using. Now I'm using many light layers on top of each other, and over time, these multiple layers help to combine and blend together and create a solid thick layer, helping to give the smooth realistic look that I'm trying to achieve. After that, I go back in with cold gray 2 again to add further light layers all over the SCLERA in order to blend it slightly. I like to create a nice blend between my colors, and to create a smooth transitions, I use many light layers to build up towards a solid tone rather than pressing hard. I continue to add multiple light layers so that all of the pigment eventually builds up and merges together, allowing me to create the level of realism I'm hoping to achieve. Next, I build up a few light layers of cold gray 4 to smoothen the harsh lines that are around the iris. As I said earlier, I use more layers and a bit more pressure on the shadowed areas, and gently apply less pressure as I come to the lighter area. Now I go in with cinnamon in the darker shadow areas which are close towards the upper eyelid. I continue adding light layers of cinnamon in the darker shadow areas at the bottom of the sclera. I make sure to keep looking back at the reference photo all throughout. Doing this really helps to create a more accurate level of similarity between my drawing and the reference photo I'm currently using. Now it's time to add some blood vessels which pass through multiple directions in the sclera, and to do this I use cinnamon. As I said earlier, I make sure to keep looking back at the reference photo all throughout. to create a more accurate level of similarity between my drawing and the reference photo. Now you're nearly at the finish line. What remains is to go in with the finer details of the drawing. So I go in with Van Dyke Brown for the eyelashes. To draw any strand of hair, I use several strokes back and forward, building up the intensity of the color. This way I can control how dark it goes gradually instead of doing one harsh stroke. Each strand of hair has a darker and thicker side, which the strand starts from. This fades out to the lighter and thinner side, where the strand ends. To draw these lines, I start with the darker end and gently apply less pressure as I come to the end of the strand. However, sometimes both ends of a strand are lighter and thinner, with just a darker tone in the middle. So I start off lightly, then add pressure towards the middle and release the pressure to finish with the lighter end. Also on my channel I have in-depth tutorials on how I create hyperrealistic facial features and portraits in colored pencil. So if you want more details, then feel free to click on that subscribe button if you haven't already, and be completely sure to join me every week for a new video. So that's it for this tutorial, and I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to give it a thumbs up and let me know what your thoughts are. Also keep checking back with me for more tips on how to master drawing hyperrealistic facial features or portraits with new videos every week. I'll see you in the next episode. Goodbye.